Hello, everybody. Welcome to Self Love Sundays. It's your sis, Tina Ricks, and I have two special guests with me today, Dr. Jones and Selina. Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Great.
Good,
How
good.
are you?
Doing pretty good. So I'm so happy that you guys are with us, and we are going to get started now. So, with self-love, we can talk about all different topics, and I know that we kind of like have a little chit chat before we got going today, and we were just talking about like sisterhood in general. I've been knowing Selina. Selina, how long have we been knowing each other?
It's been years. I would say 2014, roughly.
2014-ish, right? Yeah. So
yes,
to keep our sisterhood bond together. Every now and again we check up on each other and see how each other's doing. And she's really a sweetheart. She actually went to Ghana the beginning of this year, or was it the end of last year, or both?
The end of last year, 2019, into the beginning of the new year, which is 2020. So I had a whole month, which was awesome.
You're actually Ghanaian, right?
I am. I'm Ghanaian, and I was born here in the U.S., but both my mother and father are Ghanaian. My mother is Fanti, and my father is Ashanti.
Awesome. Okay. Same here. I was born here, but both my parents are Nigerian. So
there you go.
So
Nigerian, American, Ghanaian, American.
Yes. And
I feel bad. I'm not from anywhere else. I'm from Louisiana, man.
You're from Louisiana. That's all right, though. That's still culture. Like, okay, what part?
Louisiana, right there in Baton Rouge.
Right there
in southeast Louisiana.
Hey.
I mean, I was born there. Man, I feel bad. I'm not from Africa. I need to be from Africa. I'm gonna move.
We're all from Africa.
I gotta get citizenship at some point. I'm moving as soon as. Well, we'll see how that goes the next couple of years.
Yeah, things open back up.
They got a little more time with me.
Yes, hopefully we can, take a trip there, like a group trip or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get started, and one of the questions that came in, like, I get questions in my inbox on the Thought Positive Media page for ideas of things for us to discuss, right? And one of the questions that came in said, why do you think it's difficult for Black women to have a really good circle of girlfriends? Any thoughts on that? Is that even true? Is it true that Black women have a hard time having a good circle of girlfriends?
Doctor, would you like to go first?
I think that, I'm not going to be just, I just think Black women are strong and powerful and ultimately queen and God of everything. But I think that honestly, it's like we talk about alpha males, we talk about alpha females, and Black women are mostly alpha females, so they're competitive. So you don't want to be in a situation where you're losing to some girl that ain't even on your level. So a lot of times you just I just think we get jealous, and
so you jealousy think Black women have a hard time, having a good girlfriend circle or a good circle of girlfriends because they're jealous of each other?
Not jealous of each other, just
competitive.
I think most women that are, in this situation, they have an idea of what their goals are. And so most women's goals to get married, have kids, be with a loving husband and have a great life. And so everybody's trying to do this. So if Will Smith Jr. walks around and he's standing in the place and Will Smith Jr. likes, one girl but doesn't like the other girl, it's going to be an issue. And then Will Smith Jr. is going to tell her he don't like all the girls, but Will Smith Jr. likes all the girls. And so he has to figure out which girl he's going to like, and the rest of the girls are going to be jealous because Will Smith Jr. pretend like he like her, but he like all of them, but he has to specifically pick this one girl that he has to like. So I think the jealousy, and I just think it's kind of a cycle. I'm not going to expose this whole thing. It's a cycle, though. Men perpetuate this cycle with women because we, not me, but we talk to women and we get these ideas that things are supposed to be a certain way, but it's not. So women think that men are on this certain page, but they're not on the same page. So it creates animosity amongst women.
So women think that men are on a certain page, but they're not on a certain page?
No. I said men tell women that they're on a certain page, but they're not.
Oh, okay.
Men are probably gonna hate me after this. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't even know why I would say this on the podcast.
I want you to explain that.
Is this live? We're gonna delete this?
It's live. It's live. I want you to repeat that one more time.
What I'm saying is that
and explain it a little bit more.
Men are telling women that things are a certain way when they don't believe that themselves. And so when you get in certain situations, women are thinking that men are thinking this, but I just think men and women just speak two totally different languages nowadays. You know, and we just have to learn how to communicate with each other and be honest with each other. So I think women are focused on one thing and men are focused on another thing.
Okay, so you feel like men are telling women what they want to hear, even though that may not be what their mind frame or track of thought or anything as far as what they want for their immediate future or long-term future. And they kind of just let women know what they want to hear. That way they can at least come into the woman's presence, because it's an alpha female. So they got to, you know, crack the code to at least let the door get open so they can hang out in their presence. Is that what's up?
Yeah, imagine being a male. I mean, I know it's difficult because y'all are beautiful women, but imagine being a man for a moment, and you got girls that are trying to engage you, and you have a goal. Your goal is to get married and to live your life with one woman forever, but things are going in a certain way where you have to be choosy, and you have to pick who you want to be in your life, and so you have to be more specific about what you want to do. So you're going to test girls out for what you want, and so a lot of men aren't honest about the test that they put women through in order for them to get to that specific goal, and so girls get confused and they start having animosity. I don't know if it's jealousy. I don't know about women don't hang out with each other. I like hanging out with girls. But I think a lot of times men get in the way of women's relationships.
Okay, so you feel like there's a lot of single women who are not married yet, but their goal is to be married, and there's not as many men. And so the men are kind of in the water, and it's kind of like it kind of makes the women not actually be able to like have a sisterhood, because they're like all looking for the same thing with the few amount of men that there are. So they want to kind of stand out on their own, and they want to be seen or chosen or, you know, admired. So they kind of don't want to have, you know, competition in the form of girlfriends around them. They don't want to not get chosen because they do have this clump of women around them. So the man may feel intimidated and may go away and not actually come to them and approach them. So they feel like it's better to ride solo through life.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I think that if that's really what the case is, I think that we're doing a disservice to ourselves, because a lot of times women, everyone in this day and age may come from a broken home. They may not have a gatekeeper. I think that we need to be the gatekeepers for our sisters. I think that sometimes women get caught up in strange situations with men. Women also get into relationships that they probably shouldn't have took to the next level with the wrong person, but nobody really tested their character. And because they were flying solo through life, they got caught up. So if they had like a girlfriend group that was there to be, you know, some gatekeepers and kind of know what's going on, you know, some that are a little bit more wise in this area, some that have more discernment. So that's the, you know, benefit and advantage of keeping women around you, because you get all these special powers all in one place, all for the reason of loving and supporting and uplifting each other and protecting each other. So if we become experts at protecting each other, we will be able to decipher who is just kind of testing the waters because they have so many women that they can choose from. Also, they will have people to kind of discuss, hey, I went on this date, this and this happened. What do you think about that? Or he asked me this, or when I asked this, this was the response I got. Kind of the vibe kind of was off after that for the rest of the day. They would have somebody to process this stuff with, instead of like going on Google to look it up and like, you know, watching videos trying to figure out the answer to these questions. So they'll have somebody there with them that can pray with them, meditate with them, walk with them, talk with them, encourage them, you know, discourage them, you know, all of that wonderful stuff. So I think that it's very much more beneficial for us to have wonderful women in our life that, you know, eventually graduate to the place of being a girlfriend, to be called a girlfriend in that woman's life. I think that we need tribes to survive in this world.
I think tribes are important. I think you both have like such a valid point that yes, as Dr. Jones has said, there is this competitive nature, and I think that is what keeps us divided. But yet it's so important to have that tribe. But how do you get to the place of having that tribe and having that inner circle of trust? Because you can't just meet anyone and trust them. And I think that that's a part of the issue, is creating that tribe, like you said, and having the circle. And I could say for women of color, just women in general, I found it difficult to have that inner circle because it's a vetting process. Just like you are dating a man, in a way, you're vetting out that female. Like, is this someone that has a positive energy, a positive aura? Do I want them to know my personal business? Do I see them going to the next level? I think that all of life is a part of that vetting process as well. And it's also opening yourself to be vulnerable and hopefully creating that tribe.
Some people, when they were kids, they moved a lot, for all various different types of reasons. So having those childhood friends, from like grade school on to adulthood, a lot of people don't have that. And then in like the college years and young adult years, they were working. Like I was a young mom, so I was working a lot. So I would, do school at Prairie View A&M. Hey guys. So, I would, go to class on campus and leave and go to work. So like building those bonds and those friendships, that wasn't really there. So it's kind of like I'm cool with a lot of people. I know a lot of people, but I don't have anyone that is not really. I mean, I have some wonderful people in my life that I'm truly blessed to know, but like a super, super close circle of women, that we are always checking up on each other and seeing how we're doing. I can't say that I actually have that. Wonderful women in my life, yes, but like super, super close, no. So I think that as women, anyone that doesn't have that, I think no matter what age you are, I think you should never stop trying to have that, because sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes we're thinking that we want a like long-term relationship with a man, but you really just want that safe place. And that bond, and to know that somebody cares about you. And sometimes that's just, making sure that you belong to a tribe. And sometimes having a circle of girlfriends is enough.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think, Dr. Jones?
Well, I just think we have to be honest with each other. Like y'all were talking about finding trust and finding a bond with each other. It takes some trials, But some people, you have to go through stuff in order to like be able to bond with them and know who they are, and be able to honestly be able to hang out with them. So I think when I can't speak for women alone, but I can tell you, if as a man, if you're gonna hang out with a guy or hang out with somebody else, I'm open to all the options of what we have to do. But if something goes wrong, I'm gonna take note, because I'm not about to hang out with you other than once or twice if this stuff keeps going on. And a lot of times people get in these relationships with each other, and they tend to just like say, okay, well, that was okay because of this. They give each other excuses. But a lot of men, they're like, man, once or twice, and I ain't messing with you no more. Women give a lot more. I'm not gonna say they give a lot more leeway to who they want to hang out with. They'll say, oh, yeah, well, she did this today, but she was tipsy that day, so she did that. Or her boyfriend was mad at her, so I'm going to still hang out with her. We give excuses for each other. And I think, when we talk about who your average of is 5 about success, like your average is the 5 people that you hang out with, and if you want to have a top tier life, you want to hang out with people that are in that top tier, that top echelon of life. So you're not going to just hang out with the raggedy people that are going to make bad decisions all the time. So you want to make sure that the people that you hang out with are cool. So you're not going to be taking the stupid stuff that people do. Once somebody does something dumb, you cut them off. So I think women just gotta. My advice if I was talking to my little sister, because my little sister's a woman, and I would tell her, if somebody shows you who they truly are, then you believe them and you leave them alone. in the first minute. Don't mess with them no more, because they're going to be that way for the rest of their relationship. They're not going to change. And so I think we just don't give that credit to people as we do, because this world is, it's not built for the nice people all the time. It's built for the people it's built for the people that want
so for little sis, sorry, I didn't need to cut you off, but for little sis, you would say, okay, if someone does something ugly, like, go ahead and wrap it up. You don't need to hang out with that person.
There's 6 billion people in the world.
You believe that we should forgive and have like a more forgiving spirit?
Forgiveness. I mean, you can, but I mean,
do you see forgiveness as a sign of weakness? Destruction, if you allow that to stay with your present. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere.
That forgiveness is a sign of weakness. Oh, well, I'm gonna tell you this: to forgive is a strength, but it can be seen as weakness to a person that you have forgiven, and they might take advantage of you. So you need to be sure whenever you forgive somebody that they're not going to take advantage of you. I definitely agree. Forgive people and all these things, but a lot of times people expect forgiveness when it shouldn't be granted. So if they expect forgiveness and they expect you, and I got this Botham Jean video in my head where the cop goes and hugs the son. I got this in my head. I don't know why. But the cop, you see what I'm saying? The cop goes and hugs his brother, and that's forgiveness. Come on now, he killed your brother. And so how can you forgive somebody that did that? But she knew if she got off of that stand and walked towards that boy, she was gonna get a hug. So we gotta understand when people expect it, it might not should be given. Like, we shouldn't just give it to, like, if
I like your example. I do like your example. And on that example, I'm going to share. I'm a disclosure of information, and I always use myself. So I'm going to say, in my most recent marriage, that sounds bad, most recent marriage. How many marriages have there been? Okay. So so in that one, I feel that I may have forgiven too many times. It's like, okay. When you look back and, they say hindsight is 20/20, and you're like, well, that same thing happened multiple times. Did you not realize that the person wasn't going to be able to be rehabilitated? So with me being a therapist and an optimist, and like this person that sees an unmeasurable amount of positive regarding every single situation, I was projecting my spirit onto somebody who wasn't about that life, so I was projecting what I can do, what I'm capable of, how I love onto them, hoping that it would be reciprocated. But if I would have just taken it for face value, things would have been a lot different. The outcome, the aftermath, the planning a family with the person would have been a lot different, because when you look back and they say hindsight is 20/20, you see things and you're like, but then you're like, well, I was already married to him. No. So when you know that someone is going completely against your spirit, you're not supposed to keep figuring out how to make them a better person. Like, you take it for what it is and you start figuring out how you're going to survive. And I say that to say what you said, like, if, your little sister, meets someone and they do something, you're like, hey, you're not like in this like committed relationship with this person. It's just someone you're getting to know as a friend, and they just did something really foul. Go ahead and, clip it and keep it moving and find some other more healthy people. So we got to take what you said into context, is what you're saying. Like, in a friendship, that's what you do. In a relationship, you try to rehab it, but you got to also know when you should stop trying to rehab it, because that person may be just taking advantage of you.
Well, no. Yeah, it's definitely a different world. Knowing what I've learned from over the past, I would say 20 years, is to, if they show you who they are, I mean, that's just the way to go. Just believe it. Believe who they are, and they can change, but they might not change for you. They might change for somebody else. They might go be with somebody else.
Bring it back. Rewind.
The next boyfriend, they're going to be with somebody else and be the best boyfriend, girlfriend of all time. But with you, they just might not be the right one.
It's like oil and water. Sometimes it don't mix. Sometimes people feel over.
Might not have that.
You know? They may feel over smothered or over nurtured or over guided, you know. And with me being an empath and seeing the wonderful, like, positive outcome in everyone, you know, sometimes I can over nurture, over lead the way. I fix things to a certain point where that person's strong, but I don't let them, okay, ducky, fly away now. Become your own man. You know, it's like I'm still there guiding and nurturing and asking, even though I'm not nagging. That person may start to resent the good in you because they don't have any of that in them to give back to you. So it's like, you've given me so much. How am I going to pay this debt back? I'm actually now annoyed with you because there's no way that I can meet what you've given me.
Oftentimes when you're in relationships, you see something you want to be, and you just project so much negativity because you're just not reaching that a level. I'm not saying for myself, but like if I hung out with Mark Cuban every day, I'm like, you ain't rich, but he's a billionaire, you know. But me,
oh my God,
I'm not. I'm just making my money. I'm like, man, you ain't doing nothing. Like I have to bring him down to my level in order for me to be able to hang out with him. So I think a lot of people try to do that.
Wow.
Unconsciously.
That's one aspect.
So when you get in these relationships, you're going to be upset because you know always going to be wanting something you can't have, and we always.
That's an idea, but I could tell you this. Let me give you an example. For example, growing up in San Antonio, I was a reporter, correspondent, and I had some big women that I hung around, some anchors that have been on air for years. But But I saw them as a positive guide. I would see like, wow, they are doing this. And being around them, I learned from them. I grew from them. And I saw the glass as half full. Like, this is the potential I can get around, I can be. But I can learn from them and build myself and learn and grow as an individual myself. So I looked at it in a positive aspect instead of jealousy or envy, but to say, you know, this is a great example. And this is where I want to be. And I want to surround myself with these positive people that are going somewhere, that are doing something.
I love it. I love it. So you enjoy being around those women that had those accomplishments because it's like, wow, I can learn from this. I can learn from this. But you know, sadly, a lot of us people in the world, there's a lot of hangups. You know, this mental health thing is still pretty new to a lot of people. And honestly, this year with COVID going on, it's brand new to some people, you know, where they're like, I actually do need to take this seriously and take care of my mental health. This has been quite a year. Okay. But, you know, before that, for us in our 30s, I think everyone here is in their 30s. Raise your hand if you're in your 30s. All right. So, definitely
for now.
We've lived through
I'll be 20 next year. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm turning 20.
A time where there was no like talk about mental health.
He's going backwards.
21. I got to be able to drink.
So. He's going backwards.
So we've lived through a time when there was no mental health. There was none of that talk, right? So with there not being any mental health talk, and you have some issues like low self-esteem, inferiority complex, you know, just feeling like not adequate, not worthy of. So you got all that going on, but you're also trying to go and put yourself into a relationship. You got all of that stuff going on. You're not treating any of that. And now you're going to take that nonsense to some happy, positive regard person that just sees everything so wonderful. And it's like, wow, I can help with that. But you can't even really honestly receive the help all the way in a good way because you're not well. You're sick on the inside. It's something that we can't see, you know? And that is that discernment, you know, that we have to, you know, keep working on developing to be able to kind of read some of that in someone, you know, to be like, why did they make these decisions? Was it like a self-esteem issue or was it an overtrust issue? What's going on? So when finding friends and being in relationships, you got to kind of look at what's been going on in that person's life. Okay. You have to. It's not called judgment. You have to take a look and you have to figure out what's going on. Did they have a low self-esteem? Were they overtrusting? Did they not have like a good family? So they made this choice hoping that it worked out. And, you know, like what all is going on there, you know? And a lot of times people don't have a good self-esteem. So whenever they see people that are doing well, they see that person as an enemy, even though they know that they need to be around that good energy. So that person that has the good energy isn't knowing that the person, like, you know, behind what you can see actually doesn't have any good intentions for them.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing. You know, sometimes, as they say, some of the closest people to you are those that are not your supporters, those who do not wish you well. And it could be a team of strangers that will support you. But in the end, it's true. It's like you said, it's having that discernment, being able to see the people around you and taking their truth at basically however they treat you, taking
back to what he said. Yeah.
What he said. Exactly. Going back to Dr. Jones, you know, taking it at face value and believing it. Yeah, it's life
hard.
lessons, right?
You might not have any friends, but guess
I
what?
know.
Life would be drama free. I would say, I mean, you might have friends, but it's going to end whenever they mess up.
Oh boy.
Your life would be drama free.
Oh boy. Hey, they say that it can be lonely whenever you are cleaning things up. Like, I know every now and again I got to put on my lioness and I have to make myself clear, you know, and I can lose some friends. I can lose some people that want to be around me. But sometimes you got to stand firm in what's inside your spirit, because people don't know. So they're going to assume. So you got to make sure that you stand firm with what is, you know, what makes your pistons fire, you know, because
when a tree grows, leaves fall off. You know what I mean? It's not like the tree is going to keep the same leaves the entire duration of its life. No, the leaves are going to fall. You know what I'm saying? It makes the tree beautiful. Like the leaves make the tree beautiful, but at some point they got to go. Every tree has leaves, and at some point every leaf on that tree dies. So we have to think about that. If we walk as trees, then trees are going to be just like us. So we have to understand the things that happen to us are temporary. I'm not saying that women should just go out and get a bunch of friends and break up with them every 5 minutes. I'm saying that understand that relationship may come to an end.
Okay, I got you.
Give value to it while you're still in it. And then when it's over, you know, you'll be okay. You know, it's different. Yeah. It's not like you have to have animosity towards that person.
Yeah, true.
The leaf comes right back into the tree. Like, I mean, it falls.
Stages, reasons, and seasons. You know, that's what I say.
Yes.
Stages, reasons, and seasons. And sometimes we got to realize that an intimate relationship or a friendship, you may have only been meant to have that for a certain amount of time. Yeah. You know,
Halle Berry ain't trying to hang out with me. You know, I mean, if we were in the same season, we'd be good. But she's made it as a big time. I'm talking shit. She's just in a whole different season than I am. I don't know Halle Berry like that, but I'm just
Halle Berry.
I mean, you know, she's in that whole actress, Emmy Award-winning, Oscar Award-winning life, and I'm just me. But I'm doing what I'm doing, so I have Halle Berry level. You know, it's a different level, but we just got to know where we are. I think times just change, you know, so and we just have to be ready, like you said, for the season.
So we probably need to do some work on ourselves, right? So everything turns back to your inner man, right? So you would have to know what season of life you're in. That way you're not envious or feeling inferior too, right? You got to understand where you're at in life and what trajectory you're on, because we don't all end up in the same place and we're not all on the same journey. We may cross paths at some point for a little season, but we got to go this, you know, we're doing different things.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
You think that's hard for people to accept that sometimes, like to look at themselves, like take an introspective view into what's going on with them and what place and chapter they're at in their life?
I think that can be that can be difficult. I think that 2020 COVID-19 has been a blessing and a curse for some people, but yet a blessing where a lot of us have had to be quiet. We've had to be still. We've had to be introspective and retrospective and really think about ourselves. How are we bettering ourselves? Who are we as individuals? How do we want to show up in the workplace, in our professional lives, in our personal lives? At least I could speak to that for myself. And sometimes that can be difficult. It's evaluating yourself and saying, you know what, I could have done that differently. I could have handled that situation differently, because I'm always in control of how I react despite how someone may treat me. And it's taking that step back and saying, you know what, let me bring it back together and show up as the Selina that I want to show up as. And it takes that time to own up to your role and your part in everything you do in life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good stuff. So you got to be accountable to yourself, right? You can't nothing can always never be your fault, or you can't feel like you handle everything the right way, or you can't feel like you've handled people the right way at all times. There's always something that we can make an improvement on, right? So in making friends, you want to make sure that you find people in life that are humble enough and, wise enough to, take inventory on themselves every now and again and be able to say, hey, I came at you wrong, or hey, that wasn't for you. That was for that person. I'm sorry, or I was going through this today and this is what was brewing inside of me and that's what came out. I'm sorry, we have to be able to take inventory and say, hey, could I have handled that better, or should I have been more clear about that? What's going on with me? Am I okay? Am I not okay? You can't always say that you're okay when you're not. That's something that we did in yesteryear. You're always okay. Your parents are always okay. You never see them. They never tell you they have a financial problem. They just say no. That's not healthy. So, in this day and age, trying to have friendships with people or being in an intimate relationship with someone, that's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. We have to be a little bit more authentic with ourselves and with other people.
Otherwise, you're going to have lots and lots of problems every single day. I think one of the things that's going to help people as far as moving forward, 2020 to 2040, is honesty. Just talk about what's going on. Amen. My parents grew up in a whole different world than I grew up in. And since 2010, a lot of things are different. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I could tell, if I were to tell a kid how to live their life right now, it'd be, I'd be looking old, like crazy old man. Like, oh, you should go this, you need to talk to this girl this way, you need to go here. No, it'd be crazy because they have everything in their fingertips. They have every social media app. If you break up with a girl, you can see her next week on MySpace or what? I'm not MySpace, that's old.
You're telling your age.
Kick or whatever, they're always seeing each other. So it's a different world. So we have to just approach the whole idea of a relationship differently. I just think it's just changed the way, as far as friendships and
the intimate relationships,
because it's just a whole different world. Kids get it. We don't get it as adults. Kids get it. Yeah. They understand. They do, right? They get it. We don't get it. They know how to stop talking to somebody. They get it. They're like, yeah, we could be friends. They don't understand. We over here, I hate this person. That's not cool. We just go through cycles, seasons, as you said before, seasons.
So how would one go about making new friendships as an adult?
Food for thought. That's a good question. I think it's kind of like for me, for example, because I find it difficult. I'm new to Austin. Making friendships does not come easy, but I like to get out and be in the city. And so one thing for me has been maybe finding individuals that align with a similar interest as I do, whether it's being a part of a dance group or church group, which, it's difficult with the pandemic. There's different meetup groups that don't have to be about meeting up with a male counterpart, but just similar activities, similar things that you're interested in. I think, again, going from there, that's an idea.
Absolutely. Like at the beginning of this year, we had the women's group going, Rebuilding Your Empowered Self, that I was putting together, and, just getting to meet women and talk to them of various ages and races and things like that, just to, put yourself out there and say, hey, I'm here. Hey, are you here? Are you, wanting to make some new friends and have a new support system? Well, here we are. It's kind of come to a halt because I was filming in COVID, but, those are things that I like to do as an adult, to be able to meet new people and make new connections with people.
I say just do what you like. If you do what you like, then you're gonna find people that also like to do what you like. Y'all mentioned dancing and going to different events and those type of things. Do what you like. You might be by yourself for a while, but eventually you'll find somebody else that likes to do what you like. And so I think just keep doing what you like, and and it depends. Just be patient. A lot of times we're in a rush to make friends and put people in our lives that don't need to be in our lives. Just be accept that you might have a friendship that might last a day, might last an hour. They might be a friend, but they might not be a long-term friend. So understand if you meet somebody, they might not be in the clique. So you have to know levels to it. So I think to meet friends, you do what you like, enjoy your time. Like in Austin, I would say, work out, go. I can't go to 6th Street and then Domain or whatever people go to, but I would say go hang out and do what you want to do as a solo dolo person. Then people will find you. The people that need to find you will find you. Unless you don't talk to nobody. If you don't talk to nobody, you don't want no friends anyway. You gotta say something. Don't be a wallflower.
That I like. You said, go out solo. So you can't be afraid to go out and put yourself out there. You got to be kind of brave and have some confidence, right? So you got to do some self-work to get up that, muster up that strength to go out there and just go out by yourself and, be responsible and meet new people and just put yourself out there, So I think
go get a margarita, go buy. I'm not saying go drink by yourself, but go and enjoy your time as a solo person, and then someone will join you eventually, I think. But a lot of people, unless you're just not, if you're not social, and a lot of people aren't social. If you want to make new friends, and I would say just, you're probably better off. I'm not saying that. I'm sorry. Let me take. All right, just go out, do your thing, have a good time. I think do your thing, and people will come to you. Magnitude.
Okay. So be your true, authentic self.
Be yourself.
Yes. If you don't have anyone to go with, don't stay at home.
Right.
Something if it's like a socially distanced, small, intimate setting concert or something. Just go have a good time and go by yourself. Is what you're saying. So you are working on yourself, and you're getting more confident going out, and people feel the energy that's coming off of you. And, they want to be around that energy. They like your confidence. They like your ability to have fun on your own, and they want to be part of your world. So maybe you'll start, adding new friendships that way.
Don't do that now. Don't do that during COVID.
During
anybody
COVID.
to go out in public right now, it's a horrible idea. After COVID, but right now,
I'm going to
want to do.
If you're going out responsibly, and if you're socially distanced, I feel like it's okay. I feel like we can't stay locked up in our homes. For some people's mental health, they have to socialize. So I feel like as long as it's safe, socially distanced, where they're checking temperatures and doing all of that. Of course, you can't, protect yourself from getting COVID, period. Anytime you put yourself out there and go out, you're putting yourself at risk. But if you can do that in a responsible manner right now, we don't know when this is going to end. So if we stay holed up in our homes, that's, for some people, they just can't do it. So I think as long as it's a responsible outing and you're, taking the precautions that are necessary, then I think you should still go out.
Okay. Well, you good. That's good for me. I just can't. I'm going to go party on 6th Street tonight because Dr. Jones is so.
Maybe not partying on 6th Street, but maybe like a, controlled.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like, maintain social distance, wash your hands,
be responsible,
put your hands on, wear a mask,
try to do stuff outside, maybe not indoors,
If he's not wearing a mask, he ain't the one for you. No, I'm not talking about female relationships, right? I'm not talking about men. Female, they're talking about females, so.
Be smart about it. Be smart.
But you got to wear a mask. That's common sense.
Yeah.
You got Joe Biden.
Y'all know what I called it. I don't know if you watched episode 1.
No more non-maskers. Well, not maskers, but
So let's see here. Let's see. Did we cover the other question that came in? I think we covered that one. Okay. Here goes one question that came in from a soror. I'm a Zeta Phi Beta, and this is a. Go ahead. What are you? Doc?
I'm a Sigma.
Everybody
Z5S.
know what that is.
I love
Z5 all over the world.
I love my Z5. I'm gonna say that. I love my Z5. You want me to Z5? I can't do it on this thing. But
Okay. So does a high level of education, finances, experience, and a good relationship with a higher power intimidate men from approaching a woman that may be single, like someone that's got their, like, they know what's going on with their life and they've kind of got it together? Is that intimidating for a man when dating?
It's a good question, Dr. Jones.
Is that a question for me?
I'll be right back, guys. But go ahead and answer the question.
Well, I mean, I feel like you're the man in this, live, and you could definitely speak to possibly the male perspective.
I have male friends and followers, and so I don't want to lose them all. But I'm gonna tell you this first off: if you're intimidated by anything a woman does, you ain't a man. So I just feel like if a woman's gonna be multi-dimensional, have her stuff together, and doing all that thing, you should be empowered by that. You shouldn't be jealous of that. That should be the one you want to talk to, not somebody that ain't got their stuff together. So why would that intimidate any man? If you ain't got your stuff together, then you don't need to be talking to no woman that has all her stuff together. So yeah, if it's intimidating for that man, yeah, he needs to get his stuff together. I think that's sweet. Oh, man, I'm not gonna bring this up, but my QC family, they have Sweetie. This is probably gonna get me in trouble. Sweetie they were talking about the Birkin bags. Like, if you're gonna be a man, you need to buy one of the Birkin bags. But she's making millions of dollars. Of course, the man needs to buy Birkin bags for her because she's rich. Like, yeah, you got to step the game up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go to Sweetie and buy her a Louis V, because she makes millions of dollars. What am I gonna do with that? So she deserves the Birkin bag. So you got to be ready for a man, whatever level woman you want. You got to be ready to step up your game, I think. Unless you just want to, deal with. If you just want to be with broke, I'm just saying, if you want to be a broke women, go with broke women. I'm not saying that, but there are women that are out there that are enterprising, doing their things, entrepreneurs. If you ain't an entrepreneur, don't go to a woman that's an entrepreneur and expect her to treat you with respect. It's a different world out there. I'm not saying you have to be like that, but women and men are on the same level. It's the same playing field right now. So why are we going to continue to act like men are the dominating force in the world?
Did you hear that?
Women have all the power. Yeah. We have a women vice president.
Selina, he said men and women are on the same playing field right now. So what he's saying is that they are now as educated, if not more educated than the man, and they are now earning the same amount, if not more than a man. So the whole gender role, machismo, man that comes in and puts down his foot and says, this is the law and you follow it and go make my biscuits. It's kind of not going to work anymore. If that's what your mind frame is, you're probably going to have a hard time keeping a relationship or getting into one as a man with a woman.
Yeah, it'll be tough.
Because you got to
you'll get some
as well. It's a real
men,
go ahead.
You'll get some relationships, but that's define those relationships. You want Barack and Michelle.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? You better be on that level of Barack and Michelle. You know what I mean? Don't be trying to go Barack and Michelle and you rocking down here looking like, Podunk Joe, crackhead Joe on the side of the corner. You need to be up to that level. You need to be able to, like, if I'm gonna go holler at Michelle, if I know I see Michelle Obama, she's a CEO of a hospital, and I come to her, I ain't got no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna deny anybody what they're gonna do, but what level I'm supposed to be on. And cats be acting like girls are supposed to drop down for them. What do you expect a woman to do? The same thing a man does now. A man is going to expect people to be on their level, just like women expect men to be on their level. The common ground. So we got to meet them at the same level.
Disclose, in my most recent, what would you call it? Coming out of marriage, the most recent marriage that I'm coming out of. It was almost as though, I'll be careful with my wording, but there was a stereotype that this person thought of Black women. So as I kept breaking the glass ceiling of the stereotype, the more disgusted the person became with me wanting to put me in a box of a stereotype. So the ultimate thing that they wanted to do was make me a baby mama and think that that would like throw me off track, and told me, you know, maybe this will slow you down. That's why I wanted this, so it can slow you down. So, you know, not to throw anybody under the bus, I'm a self-discloser because I believe that that helps women, because I don't ever want anyone to not see signs or run into a situation like what I was in. But sometimes people bite off more than they can chew because they don't honestly believe in you or think that you are really going to grow and keep reaching new heights and levels in your career and your life. And at some point, they feel like you've just done too much, and they'd rather bring you down than keep going up with you because
and uplift you.
They didn't imagine a Black woman doing that, and that's not why they got with that Black woman. That wasn't the idea of that person of the other race getting with the Black woman, for the woman to be like that. It was to be the Lord over that Black woman. But we can move on. But that's kind of deep. I hope that you caught that.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
Be careful whenever you get into relationships with people that are not of the same race as you, or that may be, you know, interracial relationship. Make sure that they respect you and your culture and your dreams, aspirations, and goals, and really show that they support and will praise and are on the team with you, because things can become very detrimental if that's not clear. So
yes, being aligned, I agree, is so very important. Having someone that is going to uplift you, encourage you, is so very important. And talking about different levels, right? Being that now women are no longer just the homemakers or whatnot, but yet we are educated, we are smart. Heck, there's a woman now in the seat of vice presidency, as Dr. Jones has said, and those are things that we should applaud. And definitely, and having a partner is in that will, you know, uplift you is so important, but also that can understand that, you know what, there's compromise. These gender roles don't necessarily need to be, you don't need to fit in this gender role to be significant, but yet you can still grow.
A PSA to women out there today.
Yeah.
And this is just the women in general. And I don't know who's watching this, but if the man is not celebrating the first female vice president, then you don't need to mess with him. Period.
Okay.
If your dude that you like or whatever, your crush, your man crush Monday, whoever he is, and he's not happy that there's a female vice president, then you don't need to mess with him. That patriarchy stuff has to stop. The patriarchy has plagued our society from hundreds of years, thousands of years, and that patriarchy is what has I ain't gonna go different, but we need to stop that. Women are powerful, men are powerful, but women are more powerful, and we need to accept that women can be powerful. And that if they're not celebrating that fact, that they don't need to be in your life. Period. I'm just saying that for a simple thing. If I might be wrong, maybe there's a chauvinist man that doesn't like Kamala Harris. I don't know, but I'm just saying for a fact. If you're not down with this, like, you should be like, hey, that should be a red flag. For dozens of red flags for that one, because that, and, you know, honestly, if a man can't respect
in a situation like that, and they already in a marriage or in a relationship, what is your advice to them?
Oh, I can't do that.
No.
Well, because I'm all about change, you know what I mean? So
what if they're not being treated well because they are being successful?
You know, I can't help people in a relationship because I'm all about change. Because if something ain't working, then you should move on. But I believe that you could talk to your partner and say, this is how I feel. This is who I am. This is where I'm at. I am a successful person. I am on this level. Right now, you're showing me this level, and I just don't need to deal with you anymore. I'm not saying you should do that as a matter of fact, but people should be more honest with each other and say, hey, I'm going to school. You're not going to school. So who are you? Why are you in my life? I'm trying to start a business. You're not trying to start a business. So why are you in my life? If you're not trying, you don't have the same goals. You're trying to hold me back. If you're not if they're not supporting your goals, then they should be gone. Period. Like they should be out of the. Like I don't understand why people deal with anybody that's not supporting their goals. Friends, husbands, wives, all that stuff. If this dude is not fully supportive of what you want to get accomplished the rest of your life, then he needs to kick it to the curb, like gone, because we got a short life to live.
Amen.
And how you're gonna live your 2-3 years worried about some man that's saying, "Oh, you can't do this or you can't do that"? That's crazy. Who is that man to say what you can or cannot do?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So if he can't support your dreams, let that dude go, for real. Hey, there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's billions of dudes in the world. I'll tell you that right now. You can find, if you can't find it in Dr. Harrison Jones the fourth, you can find it in Dr. Harrison Jones the fifth. He's gonna be born or whatever he does in the next life. I don't know what he's gonna do, but you can even find that stuff out because men are all over the world. And there'll be a man that's gonna fit whatever you need. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You might not find him one time after 100 times, but I guarantee you, he'll find what you need. And if he don't do it, drop him too. I mean, I'm just saying. We got too many powerful women out there. Men think like that, but women
don't. That's my frat.
Men think like that. Women don't think. Women don't think practically like that. Women try to make things last.
All over the place tonight.
Men are like, hey, in and out. Women need to start thinking, hey, he ain't doing the right thing. Let him go.
Yep.
Men let him go, but they don't tell him. They'll let a girl go, but don't. Oh, man.
Oh, please tell us about this. How are they going to let him go and not tell them?
Go ahead. Go ahead, God. Go ahead. You just said some.
We're going to lie. Is this
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Men break up with a girl but not tell them. Women
some good stuff there. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, that's what men do. They don't tell girls when they break up with them in their mind. So they let them, they linger on, they hold them on for years and months, and then they'll just drag them along forever. And then next thing you know, oh yeah, I got a new chick. They're like, oh, what happened? No, you've been together for 3 years. He broke up with you after a year.
It's like you have to. Women are cowardly, so they're not strong enough to let someone know. Everything that they do is backstabbing, disloyal things. You know, everything is something to make a dramatic scene instead of just being upfront. You know, cut to the chase and be like, hey, I'm not in love with you anymore. You don't make me feel like a man. There's certain things that I need in my world, whether it's dysfunctional or not, and that's how I want to operate in this world. You don't do it for me. Let's, just agree to go our separate ways. They can never do that. So you have to catch the signs. You have to be like this. And then they're like, no, you're tripping, and just keep the thing going on until you finally realize, like, hey,
this is what it is.
You who they are.
Love, and let me tell you something about love as a licensed American family therapist. Love should never be that difficult. Okay. You should never be trying to crack the code and play Carmen Sandiego. Where is his heart? To figure out whether or not somebody, loves you or wants to be with you, whether you've been in a relationship with them for a while or not. And we also have to understand that we have to check our ego sometimes and say, what I want may not be what's exactly happening right here. So I have to actually admit that this is not what's happening, and I'll take the L and I got to move on. Sometimes you got to take some L's to get some wins. Okay. So you got to be
a lot of L's.
Leave a lot of L's in life. You got to keep falling down and rebuilding yourself. Oh, that hurt. Oh, and rebuild yourself, and that rebuilding takes time, but you're getting more wisdom and you're getting more insight into who you are, what you want, what you will never, ever let, get past you again. And then you also get smart, right? And realize what? I have to have a tribe. I don't ever want to be out here again by myself. And it doesn't have to be men. It can be men and women, or it can be women, but I have to have some really good people around me, because the gatekeeper's got to be there. Got to have a gatekeeper before you get into any relationship. Someone else needs to, anything serious, somebody else needs to know what you're doing, who you're doing it with, what they're saying, and whether or not you guys should move forward. And if you don't have that person, please seek professional help with that. Go to a counselor or even a pastoral counseling if you're a Christian and you don't do mental health therapy or anything like that. But go to couples therapy, go to premarital therapy, go to something so that way you can kind of, have some, even if it's a professional gatekeeper, but you got to have somebody that helps you check and balance your emotions, because you're in that honeymoon phase, right? So everything flies, right? And then when things go bad, you look back and you go, gosh, that was a big red flag. And I missed it because I was like so in love and being love bombed by this person, you know? So I think that we have to, you know, there's fun in a new relationship, but there's also some seriousness, and we have to have that balance, right? Where you really have to be honest with yourself and say, hey, is this a healthy person for me? Or do I just want to be in a relationship really bad? So I'm going to deal with this stuff that's clearly dysfunctional right up front in my face.
90%. That's 90% of relationships.
Mm.
It's most relationships. Most people feel they need somebody, which is cool. You know, we all need somebody, but we can't possess a human being. So I get it. You know, I understand we could definitely be, you know, have the ball and chain and all these things, but people change every minute.
Yeah.
People change every hour. People change every day. So if you
Yeah.
can't accept somebody's changes, then you don't need to be around somebody. So you need to accept that yesterday I was this person and tomorrow I'm gonna be this person, and sorry, you know, hey, I was mad about this. Hey, I didn't like eating chicken yesterday. I might love chicken today. So that person has to be able to accept that as a relationship, because everything changes in a second, and people are afraid that the person that they care about won't accept the changes that they want to do, and so we kind of we provide barriers for ourselves so people won't know the changes that we made within ourselves. So we won't let those people know that we changed since yesterday. But we won't let people know. That's why honesty is the best policy. I think when people say, oh, yeah, I thought about it this way. Like, I was a Biden supporter. I mean, I'm not getting political, but I was a Biden supporter today, but I'm a Trump supporter today. You should tell your spouse. Say, hey, I feel like Trump's the guy, but tomorrow I might not feel like that. But we should be able to talk to people about how we feel day by day instead of expecting someone to be the same for the rest of our life.
Communication is so important. And in a toxic relationship, what happens is the person doesn't know how to communicate, so they start some kind of drama. So they'll start kind of fight. That way they can leave because they really want to go hang out or go flirt with a girl or something. So they'll throw something at you and say, oh, you're just being so picky, or just something, and you're completely oblivious to the fact that they're changing, like your hair said. They're changing, but they don't want to let you know. So the only thing they know how to do is to just start causing conflicts.
Well, but a lot of people break up. People break up because you weren't the same Harrison you were in 2014. I'm like, dang, I was the same Harrison I was yesterday. Like, I wouldn't even recognize me 2014. Like, me and him, we probably fight. Be honest with you, like, we wouldn't understand each other at all. So people have to think that way when they're dealing with their spouse. They have to say, I'm going to be with you for 50, 40 years. My parents have been together for 38 years. And one thing I've recognized is that my mom will tell me everything that's wrong with my dad, but she won't ever let him know there's anything wrong with him, because she knows how he is, and they know how each other are, but they ain't gonna let everybody know how they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, they keep it with they understand the changes that they've been through with each other, and so they've grown with each other. If there ain't no growth, then you can't understand each other. When you grow, things change. If you get older, things change. So you can't just continue to say, oh, well, I'm going to be with this person, and he's going to be like Michelle Obama. When he met, let's go back to them. When she met Barack Obama and he was a community organizer, he wasn't presidential. He wasn't coming around here, well, I guess we can. No, he wasn't doing all that. He was probably a slug just coming out there trying to holler at all the chicks in Chicago. Michelle was like, sit your butt down, and you need to understand that you want to be president. This is what you got to do. And Barack was like, all right, bet, let's do this. And so he followed her. People don't understand that type of stuff. People don't get that when you accept growth, people are going to change. And when people change every single day, you got to accept that people are going to change. And there might not be, like, I might not be the same person 5 years from now because different people are going to be paying attention to me. That's the way things go. And so people have to recognize
Halle Berry is looking.
You don't be putting words in my mouth, acting like Halle. I didn't even say Halle Berry.
Where's Halle Berry? Where is she at?
I didn't say nothing about Halle Berry in my DMs at all. But if Halle Berry's in my DM, I might respond in 5 years. I don't know. Whatever she's watching, I don't know. Is this live? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just saying I'm not going to be hesitant it's a different life. We're changing. We change every single day.
Guys,
every single day.
I believe that we have hit an hour. You guys have done wonderful. This was a wonderful conversation. I would like for you guys to have an opportunity to share anything that you work on, any projects, anything that's going on. And we're going to start with you, Dr. Jones, before we.
I would say this: if you go to www.IUsedToHateSchool.com, you can find all my information. You can find my Instagram, Dr. Harrison Jones IV. You can go to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my favorite. You know, that's the best. I mean, that's actually the best website now. If you ain't on LinkedIn, I don't know what you're doing. That's the money. LinkedIn, hit me up, Dr. Harrison Jones IV. Facebook, same thing. And I'm also on TikTok. That's Dr. Harrison Jones. Take off the 4 with the IV and put with 4 in place of the IV, and you'll find me all the time. But I'm definitely a social media. I follow back too because I want to learn from everybody.
Awesome. You're doing some great things.
Oh yeah, and IUsedToHateSchool.com. That's my book. I wrote it to encourage everyone to, you know, we have teachers, we have educators. Everyone's an educator now because we're virtual learning now. And so we have to understand how it is to reach our students, and our students are our kids. Our students are all over the place. So, you know, grab your copy of that. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, Target, Walmart. If you just Google I Used to Hate School, it'll be the first thing that comes up. Get you a copy today.
Awesome stuff. You're doing some awesome things. You're an awesome guy. And, you know, I really do appreciate you hanging out with us today on Self-Love Sunday. Mrs. Selina, can you please share any projects or anything that you're working on or anything that you'd like?
Sure, definitely. I sure will. So I am a freelancer right now. So any story ideas, anything interesting going on in the community, I definitely want to know about it. My Instagram is going to be my name, Selina Affram, SelinaAffram. And that's the main spot to catch me. Also, I'm represented by Pastorini Bosby, but right now I'm into commercials, web hosting, hosting, anything, acting, everything I can get my hands on and be a part of. I have, I'm an entertainer, I'm a performer, singer, dancer, actor, and I, definitely want to be here and plugged in the community here in Austin. So I'm openly, hit me up and I'll definitely respond.
Awesome. All right. And it's me, Tina Rick. So I just want to let you guys know, as we're still getting oriented with each other, and this is only our third Self-Love Sundays, that I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I have some mental health clinics here in Austin, Texas, also in San Antonio, Texas, and in Houston, Texas. We are also online virtually as well. The company is called Better Path Family Counseling and Consulting. You can look us up online at betterpathcounseling.com. Okay. Also, I am a film director and producer, and we have an 8-part docuseries called Music and Mental Health. You should really check it out on our Thought Positive Media page. Also, you can go to thoughtpositivemedia.com and check that out too. All right. There's a whole lot more that goes on there. There's music, there's other stuff, and we'll get more oriented with all that soon. All right. Support us as we support you. If you have something that you want us to share on Self-Love Sundays, please inbox us and let us know. If you would like to be a guest on Self-Love Sundays, also let us know. Guys, I think I said everything. Thank you so much again for being with us. And all right, I guess we'll say goodbye. Peace, love, and light, guys. Take care. See y'all next Sunday.
Peace.